Hey guys, how are you? Today I want to talk about Foe by Iain Reid. This is a new novel that I want everybody to read. I want everybody to go and get a copy of this book so that we can all have a conversation about it. So this is a book that I want to heavily recommend to every single person watching this video. I will say this book was not perfect. I gave it 4 stars, 4 out of 5 stars, but from 1 to 10, I guess I would give it something like 8.5. So I really enjoyed it. I think it's great, but I didn't think it was perfect, and I want to mention some of the reasons why I thought this book wasn't perfect, but regardless of those reasons, I still think this is a book that everybody should read because it's new. It's really a brand new novel, I think, and I really think more people should read it so that we can all talk about it. So, what is Foe? Foe is a new novel written by Canadian author Iain Reid, who is the author of another book that I've heard a lot of very mixed things about. That is, I'm Thinking of Ending Things. I haven't read that one, and I don't know if I will. But this is sort of a very mysterious book, and so I will not really talk about the plot in this video. The basic premise, and this is the only plot-related thing that I will mention, the premise is there's this couple, a married man and woman who are living in this very isolated farm in what appears to be a futuristic world, but not like very futuristic, just slightly different to ours, just slightly futuristic. And one night, a stranger comes knocking on the door and delivers some news that will potentially change their lives. And madness ensues. The book is filled with twists, turns, revelations. There's a lot of questions, and as a reader, you have this kind of inner dialogue wondering about certain things, certain details that the author drops here and there, certain clues, certain things that are sort of that don't make sense or that seem slightly unsettling. And so as a reader, you are always thinking, you're always engaged with the book, trying to make your own ideas and your own hypotheses about what's really going on or what is going to happen. And I really liked that. Something else that I really liked and appreciated about this book is that it's a book that really blends different genres. It's not just one genre that you can classify it as. It has a little bit of sci-fi, the good quality sci-fi. It has it also has a very character-driven thing that you would find in a literary fiction novel. It also has elements of thriller and suspense and mystery. It reads like a thriller. I guess if you had to classify this under one genre, I would choose thriller because it really reads and feels like a thriller. It's very fast-paced. I read it in 2 sittings over one day. It is very fast-paced and super readable and addictive to the point of feeling like a junkie while reading it, so that's great. But it's not... I guess I would compare it to the movie Arrival or Annihilation or Ex Machina, those kinds of sci-fi thrillers that are very literary and very much concerned with the characters and the themes, the philosophy, the philosophical issues and moral, ethical issues that are presented in this book in a very simple manner, not heavy-handedly at all, which is something that I very much appreciate. I really enjoyed how the author put all of that in this very compelling little thriller. There's a lot of really important moral, ethical, very personal issues that you want to think about and that you have to think about when you are reading this book, and especially once you have finished the book. So there are many reasons why you should read this book. You certainly should read this book. However, it's not a perfect book. The biggest problem that I had with the book was that I found it very predictable, and that is a big problem for me to have with a thriller or with a very suspenseful, mysterious, thriller-esque kind of novel, as is this one. I don't know why that was. I don't know if it was just out of pure chance and sheer luck that I predicted the whole thing, but I did. And I don't know if that is something that just happened to me randomly. I don't know if some readers will have the same thing. I don't know if this will be a complete surprise and revelation for some readers. It probably will. I don't know why. Maybe it's because recently I've been reading certain books that have some things in common with this one. Some things in common, such as Fingersmith by Sarah Waters, or Never Let Me Go by Kazuo Ishiguro, which I just read last month, or certain books that make you be very incredulous and that force you to start questioning everything that is going on. So maybe having that mindset made me predict things a little bit ahead of time. So I didn't find that the plot twist, the big plot twist revelation at the end was satisfying for me because I knew that was coming. I still thought it was clever, and even knowing that and predicting that ahead of time never stopped me from liking the book. It was not a hindrance to my reading experience. I just knew, oh, this is probably gonna be the outcome, and I was right. Which, you know, it's satisfying in a way to know that you can predict such an outcome, but it takes a little bit away of that revelation satisfaction at the end of a mystery or thriller. But, well, that was my experience. It might be different for you. I hope it does. I hope it does take you by surprise. But even if you do start to piece things together, or even if you predict the outcome as I did, I still think that is not the only reason why you should read this novel. And you should absolutely pick this book up and read it. You will enjoy it, even if you know where things are going. It is compulsively readable. It is really interesting and fascinating in the way that Eternal Sunshine of the Spotless Mind is, or Arrival, Ex Machina, Annihilation are. Actually, the writer and executive producer of Eternal Sunshine of the Spotless Mind, I think that guy is making the movie of this book, so that makes a lot of sense. So yeah, it might be a little bit predictable, it might be completely surprising. That's not really the point. The point is that it is very enjoyable, and I want more people to read this book so that we can talk about it. By the way, before I go, I do want to give a shout out to Rick from the wonderful channel Another Book Vlog. He's a Canadian booktuber and I really love him, and he's the reason why I knew of this book's existence. He posted a review not very long ago about Foe, and he gave it 5 stars and he absolutely loved it, and his review is pure gold. His review is wonderful, and he's the reason why I decided to read this book. I did not enjoy it as much as he did, but man, this was great. My conclusion is you absolutely have to read this book. This book has a lot of great things going for it. It is an interesting, thought-provoking sci-fi. It's a thriller. It is very character-driven and very much focused on the themes. It also reads a little bit like Misery by Stephen King. It has that claustrophobic invasion kind of situation where the character feels trapped. It's very tense, but it's very elegant as well. So you should absolutely read it. Foe by Iain Reid.